Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review for the movie Roadhouse 2024 on Amazon Prime. Now, also be careful because Prime has instituted advertisements and stuff unless you pay $2.99 extra. However, they only did a couple things at the beginning, and then it was mostly ad-free on this. And I just wanted to let that be known because I watched this streaming and it's like 124 minutes, so 2 hours and 4 minutes. I did not like this movie. I don't think it's a good movie. If you enjoyed it and had fun with it, that's cool. I'm glad for you. This at least doesn't do anything truly horrible with, like, the older Roadhouse one. There is no Sam Elliott kind of character. Jake Gyllenhaal is called Dalton. He does meet up with a kind of nurse, but other than that, it's mainly the same kind of ideas, just very poorly executed. They change up certain kind of stuff, but they don't really go much in depth into Dalton's character like they should. Editing is confusing between how we get to certain places and why we get to certain kind of places. The action scenes are not well done whatsoever, and the camera work and technicals for it are vastly inferior to other kind of action movies. Never mind the fact of the weird kind of use of CGI with certain kind of things that make the action scenes look worse than if you had just attempted to make it look like somebody punched someone instead of utilizing the CGI to kind of like uncanny valley the goddamn thing even kind of further. It really doesn't dig much into the characters. The dialogue is very bad. It just really feels so off-putting. Like, the actors don't really have much to work with for this dialogue. Like, if you watch this movie, put on a scene, and then just close your eyes. And then just be like, okay, you've got nobody really acting, you just have the lines being said, and it's just like, wow, this really has nothing. Never mind the fact that, like, Jake Gyllenhaal and the kind of nurse character really don't have any chemistry whatsoever. It's just, I don't know, like, there's so many things that I can see that just do not work with this. It's just like, wow, I would not recommend it to people that like characters, world building, plot, action scenes. It's not good. Like, I do have to, like, do something with the original Roadhouse, but it had more kind of character. You saw more kind of a progression going on. You got kind of invested in what was going on. You had pretty good action scenes going through with it. It's just, none of that is really here whatsoever, and I do not fault the actors for it whatsoever. Like, Jake Gyllenhaal, I like him as an actor, and there's only so much he could do with this role. Like, I like Prince of Persia: Sands of Time. It is not like the Prince of Persia movie that he was in. I think he did a pretty good Prince of Persia. Destin. But there are also kind of problems with that movie as well, but he's not one of them. This one, it's just, oh my god. So, it was out like on March 21st. Oh god, it's just not. So, instead of being like this legendary bouncer, like in the original, he is this like former UFC middleweight fighter, Elwood Dalton. And we get introduced, we see this weird sequence with Post Malone, like, doing this kind of fighting stuff, and they pretty much call challengers and everything. He's like, yeah, he's gonna fight anybody. But then he recognizes Dalton. He's like, I'm not doing that, and he wins the money. And then this one dude's like, you lost me money, and he gets stabbed. And then we just see him kind of like patch himself up, where this one lady pops up like, hey, can you like help me with my bar? Let's see. Frankie, the owner of an unruly roadhouse in the Florida Keys community of Glass Key, offers him like $5,000 a week for like a month to like help her with like this rowdy kind of bar place. He's like, I'm good. And then tries to pretty much kill himself with a train. But then he like tries to like get out of it, and he does, and his car's fucked up, so he goes there. Gets introduced to this like Charlie teenager girl who owns a bookstore with her father, and that's about it until they like get threatened with fucking shit, and he has to use their computer for the internet for fucking reasons. And we learned that the Roadhouse is called the Roadhouse, and that's because of Frankie's uncle being funny or whatnot. He, like, goes and, like, does this, takes down this kind of, like, motorcycle gang where he just slaps the ever-loving fucking shit out of them, and then, like, actually starts kind of fighting them, and pretty much drives them to the hospital, and then the nurse, Ellie is like, yeah, thanks for this and everything. Is like, they were harassing an establishment, and he decided to take them to this hospital, which is like 25 minutes away. And then she, like, stitches his shit up from the previous knife wound. And let's see. And they're working for this dude named Ben Bryant. Ben, I'll just keep him. We get him introduced. They're like, what's kind of going on here? They kind of got fucked up by this dude. And it just... He's trying to get, like, a shave on a boat. Like, a straight razor shave. And he keeps getting nicked. And he's like, this is so stupid. And he tells him to take care of Dalton. And the one head dude of the motorcycle gang tries to, like, shoot him with a shotgun. But for some reason, like, he gets eaten by a crocodile. Which was evidently a thing that they're, like... The foreshadowing for it was this clumsiest fucking shit. It's like, oh yeah, there's this boat that the Frankie chick owns that she lets Dalton stay on. It's like, alright. It's like, just watch out, because there's a croc there that ate this fucking Pomeranian of the dude who owns the dock. It's like, alright, dude gets eaten by croc. Dalton has to deal with that kind of thing. It's like, okay. And then we get introduced, like, to Conor McGregor's character, Knox, who's for some reason in Italy. Ben's father's in prison and orchestrates him to, like, come. And Conor McGregor is definitely having fun here. But granted, they don't really give him much to work with other than pretty much being butt naked in 2 scenes. And just being, like... They essentially just make him be a more kind of amped up version of himself, I believe. There's not really much for him to do with this character. It's just, like, be Conor McGregor, but be, like, completely fucking unhinged. Just, like... Okay? Now granted, I'm not really that familiar with him because I don't watch mixed martial arts. But it's just like they didn't really give him much other than be kind of crazy. It's like, alright. And he's the kind of antithesis to a degree. We also get introduced to Ellie's father, who's the sheriff that they call Big Dick for some reason. He's been working with Ben's father and everything, threatens Dalton and everything. Ben does, like, this whole thing of taunting him, like, oh, why'd you kill your friend like that? And we don't really know why. Other than potentially leading that Dalton got angry at him, and his rage just made him kill the dude. That's almost about as much as we pretty much get from it. We don't really get a clear-cut answer on what kind of drove him to the point where he beat his friend to death in the UFC ring. Other than him saying, like, yeah, when you get me angry, you kind of push me kind of far, as we see that kind of happening with him pretty much taking Ben's money for what's kind of going on. He's trying to get the Roadhouse out so that way he can build this luxury resort thing. It's basic as shit, and if it's just basic as shit, that's fine. But don't try and dress it up as anything kind of bigger. Just do it and execute it well. And then, of course, Knox does an all-out bar fight, leaving, and then Dalton's badly beaten. She's the lone holdout. He's trying to leave the town, but of course they went and they fucked up Charlie and Steven. He's like, fuck that shit. He pretty much breaks this dude's fingers. That's where he does the whole thing with the sheriff's deputy. Takes, like, Ben's illicit cash, framing the deputy for, like, murder and all that kind of shit because he went to this one house and killed the one dude that was involved with beating Charlie and Steven. And that the big dick dude's like, oh, they kidnapped Ellie. And, like, Dalton builds a bomb, takes this, went on this weird kind of fucking date, him and Ellie, with her, like, ex-boyfriend who was a cop's boat. He steals that boat, plants a bomb on it, goes up there, and Ben's like, yeah, I kind of actually did kidnap your daughter. And the dude's like, what the fuck? And then Dalton blows up the boat. We get that He's able to get Ellie out, but then Knox is doing crazy shit. We get a really bad CGI of, like, Knox, and, well, Ben gets, like, fucking thunder flung into the roadhouse, and Dalton is, like, kind of almost getting at him, but, like, the Knox dude got a truck, and we get their fight scene, which fucking sucks, but Dalton then stabs him with, like, some shit that he's able to get, and you're like, oh, he's pretty much dead. However, he's not, because we then have to get another Conor McGregor butt scene. It's like, okay, I don't know why he's alive, but okay. It's in a mid-credit scene. He leaves from the hospital. Oh, and Knox kills Ben for being a douche. That's pretty much it. Frankie and Steven rebuild. Dalton pretty much gives Steven and Charlie the money, and he pretty much goes away on the bus, kind of like a Western thing, but it just was not a fun time. It was like, wow, this really is a waste. And that's how I feel about it. If you don't feel that it was a waste and you had enjoyment out of it, that's cool. Completely understand that. I like to have that kind of understanding that, like, people can enjoy this. That's cool. I had no fun with this. I like Jake Gyllenhaal. I like action movies. I wanted to kind of see what they would do with the kind of Roadhouse premise, but they really don't do anything with it. We really don't spend as much time in the Roadhouse as we should to, like, even have that as the central kind of location. We spend more time at the Roadhouse in the original Roadhouse and around the community and its understanding of the place that it inhabits and what the threat of that central character's magnate and what he wants to do with the real estate development. Here, this Roadhouse is already by itself, so you really don't get that. And Charlie and Steven's kind of bookstore is just tacked on mainly for some exposition kind of stuff and to just be a catalytic motivator to Dalton to go and take down Ben, even though he really would already have that catalytic motivation from the Roadhouse itself if he gave half of a shit about what was kind of going on for it. I didn't connect with the characters, the action, the plot. It was just badly done for me, and I just got no enjoyment out of it, so I really would not recommend this. I definitely wouldn't recommend, if it gets into theaters, to go see it in theaters. Fuck, man. If you want to watch it, stream it. Just be careful on how Amazon fucking cracks on you with ads. I don't know if we were lucky and they didn't get a lot of ads in the beginning, or if it's going to go even kind of worse and you'll get mid-ads or whatnot. I don't know if how they kind of divvy that up with movies and whatnot. It's just something to kind of look out for and watch. We're getting back to the point where streaming is going to be cable again, so good luck with that. I thought the whole point of being able to actually, like, pay them money for things is that you would be able to understand the costs and everything associated with that. Otherwise, it's better to just buy it physically, so that way you know, even in those cases, sometimes they have unskippable things of, like, trailers and shit, because sometimes I'm looking at old shit that I've got, and it's like, take me to the fucking DVD menu. I want to watch the fucking episode thing. Oh no, you gotta see this trailer and this trailer. It's like, motherfucker, I've already bought your thing. Why do you need to show me other kind of things? If I'm already into this, I've probably already seen that. Sorry, this is more interesting to talk about than the actual fucking movie. I was bored. I don't think it was executed very well. And even on a, like, it surprised me technical level what mistakes and everything were kind of going on with how shots were done, how editing was done, how we would transition between scenes. It reminded me of Black Widow. That had those kind of technical problems as well. And I'm just like, fucking shit. So yeah, I really wouldn't recommend this, but if you enjoyed this, I'm glad that you enjoyed it and you had fun with it, and I hope that continues. So those are my opinions on the movie. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.